Hello everybody, and welcome to this month's LinkedIn Lovin', where we are sharing all the best bits about the world's leading B2B social media platform, that is LinkedIn. And today we're actually going to be talking about video on LinkedIn, or as Chris, who's joined me today, calls them LinkedIn Reels. So you may know that LinkedIn introduced a new video feed on the mobile last year sometime. And it's basically got those TikTok style videos on it. And, you know, like with anything with LinkedIn, there's a bit of a debate as to whether that's actually going to take off or not. But I think what it does underline is the importance of video, and in particular short form video. So I'm delighted to be joined by Chris today, who works with business owners to drive their personal brand on LinkedIn via short form video, to dive into how we can use video better on LinkedIn. So hello, welcome, Chris.
Hey, Judy, thanks for inviting me.
Oh, it's great. It's great to have you here. Thank you. I'm really excited about this topic because video's everywhere, isn't it? But just before we start, just for everybody who may be new to these LinkedIn Lovins and wondering what the heck they are short, bite-sized LinkedIn learnings over lunch. And each month I'm joined by a guest expert to share their expertise on subjects to help support your LinkedIn activity and results. So I do like to make them interactive. Please put your comments into the box below the event there, and we'll be able to answer any questions that you've got as we go throughout the Lovin' Live. But enough from me, enough waffling. Let's get on to the subject in hand, and let's talk about, you know, why does video matter? Because it feels to me, Chris, that we've been talking about video forever and how important it is as a content piece, and that we should all be doing video. So obviously that's still the same, but do you think is the type of video changing that we're using? Is short form, the TikTok style videos, better and more important?
There's a mixture of both that you still need, and it is really depending on your audience. But short form is definitely kind of where we're going at the moment in order to capture people's attention before getting them more into our long form content. I've been in video pretty much all my life. I remember being at school back when computers were barely computers, trying to use Windows Movie Maker video editing. And people that know me know I've gone on a long journey with marketing and things like that. But video has always been the biggest part of my life. And even back when I was making video on VHSs for companies, I remember working with Thomas Cook back then and Tommy and National Express and everything, doing like VHS tapes and sending them out to stores. And video is the only thing really that has the consistent approach of growing compared to any other form of medium. And video will always continue to grow. And there's some massive trends coming out for 2025. You know, at the moment, we're talking about short form video, and it is one of the most important aspects of your video. But even that is going to start evolving with AI and animation coming out.
Oh, no. Hi, Chris. Sorry, we just lost you for a second there. Don't know if that's my end or your end, but typical. A few issues there with the old internet. So sorry, yeah. Could you just say that a bit again about the short form video?
Yeah, sorry. So it's typical, isn't it, that yeah, the internet goes. So yeah, let me just give it a second just to catch up with the internet, and hopefully it stabilizes. Right, I can see you now properly, so hopefully it's stabilized my end. What I was saying about short form video is short form video is going to be around. It's going to stay, but even that's adapting. You know, we got AI coming out and more, and animation, which is one of my specialties, is like the ability to create animated videos now using apps and technology is so front and central now that even short form video is going to start adapting. Short form video is where we're at the moment, but you've always got to have that balance. You know, people will engage and connect with you on short form, but as they get to know you, they're going to want to start seeing more long form stuff. And that's why YouTube is still one of the biggest players for video, and why, you know, they've got shorts, which is under 60 seconds, but still their feature length videos, you know, an hour long, can still generate thousands upon thousands of views. For me, it's all about your personal brand. You've got to bring people in via your personal brand using short form videos, and then they'll start to engage with the other stuff.
That is so interesting, because I hadn't really thought about it like that. And of course, these LinkedIn Lives are long form video in essence, aren't they? Because this is being streamed to video to YouTube as well. So it'll be out there for somebody to watch again. So that's really, really interesting. And I think the AI thing is really important, isn't it? Because at the moment, I think especially with lives, LinkedIn Lives, you are the real person. You know, I'm not, well, I could be an AI bot, I'm not quite sure, but you have to be real. So in essence, if you think of short form videos or video in general, the fact that AI could take over, does that mean that potentially the authenticity and the relatability will be impacted?
Yeah, and video is kind of going the way that I suppose the written word is. You know, when people started writing blogs, you know, we had some blogs were wrote from a personal perspective and some were wrote from a company perspective with people hidden behind it. And you know, sometimes you had no idea who was actually writing them, and video is going the same way. You're going to have video which is created by people, and that's what I always recommend. And then you're going to have more AI-based videos, which could be just a bot on the screen, AI generated, talking about you and your business, which is what we call like faceless videos, because they're not actually you. Faceless videos at the moment is no one on screen, just audio, but I think we're going to start categorizing AI kind of characters in that. So yeah, we're going to go into 2025 is going to be murky for video. And I think we just have to go through that phase of it being murky. And I think if people focus on brand presence, their brand, their face, and this is why I've said to you many times, let's get your face, you know, on video, get it edited, get it out there. If you focus on that, then it's going to be better in the long run. I keep saying this, long run. It's always about the long run. And that's, you know, as I said, I created VHS. We're doing VHSs, 20 years ago, I was making VHS videos for companies, and we're still making those, you know, just on a different format. Video is the thing that will stay forever, one way or another. Yeah. And the same with LinkedIn. You know, we talk about LinkedIn Reels. I call them LinkedIn Reels, the LinkedIn video feed. You know, It's the long game. People are like, oh, it's not really there at the moment. And honestly, I don't look at it very much either at the moment. But Microsoft, I think, are just playing the long game. They know it's going to happen. They know more people are going to get involved. So it's kind of a not wait and see, just wait and it will happen.
Yeah, so it's really interesting, because I did a little poll last week about the LinkedIn video feed and whether people were watching it, and there were some really interesting comments. And basically 50%, 51% of people hadn't seen it, and 38 that had weren't particularly interested in it. And then my challenge with it is that maybe I'm of an age and I don't really watch TikTok videos and stuff, but to me, it doesn't grab me. It doesn't interest me. And actually today was the first time I saw somebody that I knew video on the feed. I was like, oh, I know somebody I know at last. But it was a week old. So we don't know how the algorithm for the video works and such like, but
yeah.
I just don't, who's using it? Who's using it? I don't get it.
That's the thing with LinkedIn, isn't it? Because I think LinkedIn, very obviously, it's a very professional base, and you know, definitely in our community, like on our kind of bubble, I kind of tend to know a lot more older people than younger people, and you know, being as old as I am, and we are, you know, video isn't set up for us the way that we hoped it would be. Video very much focuses on the trends of the younger people because they're the ones that consume more of it. And we kind of have to fall into that pattern. So people say this to me all the time. Why should I create short videos when my target audience is older people, you know, not younger people? Well, it's because the platforms have adapted to those that use the platform the most, which is younger people. So you have to use the platform for the way that it's established. And that's what LinkedIn have done. LinkedIn have brought in the Reels tab because they know that's what the majority of people are now beginning to use on TikTok and Instagram. So we kind of, as older people, have to fall into the younger person's kind of narrative in order to create content. You know, there's no point sitting here going, oh, my audience don't want it. You're right. You know, people, the older community probably don't want it. I say older, okay, 40s. But they will end up watching it. Because there's nothing else to watch, because all the platforms are creating it for the younger generation.
Oh gosh, right, yeah. So we either have to get on board as an oldie, or swing my hook. But it's really interesting because some of the comments that were on that poll, and I have to agree with this, is that, you know, for me, I want to see the video in my feed, in my existing LinkedIn feed, rather than have to go to another feed to watch video. But again, that I suppose that's just generational, isn't it? Because I don't watch video feeds.
It is, and I also think it's a way that you can, the way that you, it's generational in terms of the way that we want to kind of connect with people. You know, I feel like the younger generation are very much open to connecting with anyone and seeing anyone from anywhere. My nephew, he's 10, came over the weekend, and very rarely do we let him have a phone or watch that type of content. But he had my iPad open and he was flicking through it, and you know, just flicking through YouTube, going like that, watching like couple of second reels, and then ended up on like watching. I never get this, and this is an age thing, where he's watching someone else play a computer game on YouTube. I just don't get that, but still, like apparently that's a thing. So, and he was doing that, and like it's very much a generational thing, and we really have to start getting on board with this. But what I mean by generational is he's happy to consume content from anyone. Me, I want to consume content more from people I know, people that are local to me, people I can connect with. And that's why I'm happy and I prefer to see them in my feed rather than the reels. And I think that's going to be the difference going forwards. LinkedIn, they said, I think it's about 12, 18 months ago, they very much want to focus on influencer-based marketing as well. So I think that reel feed is going to be very much for influence-based marketing. So if you want to see more influencers, more kind of bigger people, more, you know, inspired content, it's there. If you want to see more local content from people that you're connected to, people that you've got more kind of like experience with and talking to, then it's going to be in your feed.
That is, Chris, is fascinating. I hadn't even really thought of that or known about it. So that is a really, really important thing, isn't it? And I think so for business owners like myself, what impact does that have? So should we should still be creating video, short form video, putting it in our feed. And if it gets into the LinkedIn video feed, then great. But that's not going to be our number one objective, to get in the feed.
No, I tell people, don't make that your thing. Actually, don't make it your thing to get into your feed, unless suddenly you want to become like a national influencer who's driving affiliate marketing, or, you know, happy to get, you know, try and get a sporadic approach, a full spread approach across the UK or America or wherever. But, you know, as a small business, whether you're targeting people in your area or nationally, you want to build up your audience from a very central point and work your way out. You know, it's how you should be working on social media, connecting with connections and things like that. So focus on just connecting with those people and people local to you and getting in their feed, you know, getting them to respond to them, to comment, them to like. And actually, we just said before this, if you don't mind bringing it up, you said that you put in a post this morning.
Yes.
And you said to me, like, oh, it's only got 260 impressions. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't like to walk into a room with 260 people who suddenly see me. Like, hold on, no, I would. That's like, I've been into a networking meeting where there's 20 people and thought that's exciting. You know, sometimes 260 people is brilliant.
It is, and I understand. I love the idea, and you've just flipped on my thinking on its head. And it's more of the engagement that's important than the impression. But my point is that when I do video posts, they generally get less impressions than they would an image post, for example. So, you know, I put my big girl's pants on this morning to do a video because I thought I should be doing a short form video to promote this live. But it took me ages to do, lots of takes and things like that. And then it feels like you don't get that much engagement. And I know there's lurkers on LinkedIn and there will people be seeing it. But I do find that the impressions seem to be a lot lower than what you get on other types of posts.
Yeah, but the thing is I was doing some research last year with videos and adding in other content, and I discovered that by adding video, adding several videos a week, was increasing my engagement on my blog post that I was posting directly on our
okay. That is really interesting. Yeah. So it has to be, we know this, and, you know, video has to be part of your overall content. Oh, Chris, have we lost you? Oh, no. well, I think we might just put a few comments on from people, because I think I might have lost Chris. It is, Brenda, isn't it, interesting about the younger audiences, because I hadn't even taken that into consideration. And yeah, busy people on LinkedIn, not just the older ones. I'm actually also with you. I think it also, isn't it, depend on what it is that you do, how you like to read or listen and things like that. I quite prefer to read a post quickly rather than watch a video. So thank you very much for that, Brenda. Anybody got, oh no, we lost Chris completely. Oh, so the beauty of running LinkedIn Lives is always make sure you've got a good connection. So this is interesting, first time this has happened to me. So anybody got any questions that they want to ask about LinkedIn and also about LinkedIn video, and I can answer them here. So hello to everybody who's here. So is there anybody here who enjoys doing video? If you like, oh, Chris is back. Just having to fill Chris.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot of editing on this for my Wi-Fi. Luckily, I can help you with that. I don't know why my Wi-Fi suddenly gone so bad since going live. It wasn't for the half an hour before, was it?
Oh, so I was just putting up some comments and asking people for their thoughts. And Beth here, lovely Beth, she says the gaming thing's incredible for the younger generation, literally watching others play games. Is that something that you've seen as well, Beth? I don't have kids, so I don't see the whole younger generation doing stuff like that. So Debbie here has put, we put short form video on other platforms, but find that people only watch the first 10 seconds on most of them. So that's really interesting, isn't it? That's why. So what's an optimum length for a short form video?
Each platform is kind of different, but with LinkedIn, we say keep it under 30 seconds. You can do it under 90, but we say keep it under, and people say 60. We say try and keep it under 30. It's all about the engagement. It's all about the content within it. Someone mentioned, obviously, get past the first 10 seconds. So getting past, our attention span is 2 seconds long. That's it. Yeah. We got our attention span. So you have to grip someone within 2 seconds. So the second that they see it, they have to be gripped within 2 seconds. You've then got 7 seconds to get their attention. If you don't get them within 7 seconds, they're gone. So there's kind of 2 bubbles you have to get over. The first 2 seconds very much is visual with like a word or 2 words. And then 7 seconds is the first sentence that you're going to see. And you've got to grip them. And one of the biggest issues that people have is they're trying to please too many people. And this is another reason why it comes down to the amount of impressions that you get. And LinkedIn know the type of audience that you're going to be speaking to based on previous content. And so, you know, you've got to target that person. So if I'm speaking to you, if I'm making a video now about LinkedIn, I'm going to target a pain point that is specific to certain people. Like, are you lost with LinkedIn Reels? So I'm not going to say, you know, do you want to use video on LinkedIn? It's too wishy-washy. People are like, yeah, of course. So, you know, or do you know, are you stuck at 200 impressions? Not do you want to get to 10,000 impressions? Because people could be anywhere. But are you stuck at 200 impressions? Then that people in that range are going to be engaged with that video and get past to the next point, get past 7 seconds. So it's all about, and this is why I say 260 impressions is really good, because you need to be focusing on that kind of like that target area, that market, those people who have that pain point in which you're talking about. How people go on to become influencers and get that huge amount is all down to personal brand. So it's all down to people believing that whatever you say is going to be right. So it's no longer about trying to grip them on a pain point, because they know that you're going to align with their thoughts and feelings, so they're more willing to watch you for that long form. We've been doing this for years. If you take films, you know, films create films, but they need to grip you. So they create a trailer. You watch a trailer, you feel emotion, you feel that emotion, that connection with it, which then makes you go and watch the longer thing. And then once you've watched the longer thing, you then get caught in with that actor or that storyline or the director, and you're more willing to watch people from that actor or that person and things like that. So like the narrative of LinkedIn video is nothing different to what it's always done. It's just more clear and present now, and everybody can do it.
That is absolutely fascinating. I love all of that. And I'm thinking, yeah, so we need something, we need a really strong hook in the video, but also the image that people get when you first have the video. On LinkedIn, you can upload a thumbnail, because that has to be important as well, because you'll see blank or black
Yeah.
starter, and that's boring. So that image that you have first before you click on play has to engage as well, doesn't it?
It really does. It's got to be good. It's got to be, again, it's got to target that person that you're targeting. And then the content within that video has to be relative to the thumbnail you put. You can't put on the thumbnail, you know, do you want to learn how to get to £10,000 a month? Then in the video, talk about impressions, because people will click off. LinkedIn will know that, and they won't appreciate what you've done. So you've really got to focus it. We as a society are contented out. I like to use that word. We're contented out. We have seen so much content over the last several years that people are just, we no longer want to take chance of watching content unless we 100% believe that that is going to be relevant to us. And it's the same making content. You know, people say to me all the time, oh, I haven't got time, or the thing got in the way, or I don't look right, or my background's not right, so I haven't made a video. And it's not. You're just bored of it. You're bored of making content, and you're bored of the results, because our ideas and the alignment to what we expect are completely different to what they should be.
That is, I was just laughing there, because those are sorts of excuses that I make, as you know, in doing content and stuff. So in terms of also grabbing attention, so the little video that I did this morning to promote this was just me talking, just my headshot. But with the TikTok reels, you have things popping in and out, don't you? Is that important, or can we just do the hello people kind of stuff?
This is a difficult one, because yes, it's important. It is important. I think it's becoming less important, because again, it's a trend, and trends get phased out. And we've gone through that trend of having like 1,000,001 different photos in it and things like that. But it still works. It's still relevant. Cutaways, what we call cutaways to other shots or images, is still important. Captions, very much important.
Yeah.
You've got to have captions on it, because a huge majority of videos are watched with captions, watch without sound. Yeah. But I don't want to say it's important, because I don't want to put people off just making talking head videos.
Do you know what? 100%. I said that on the video I did this morning, early hours. It was rubbish. It was crap. And I understand it was crap, but I did it, and it's better done than perfect, isn't it? And it's the first step. And somebody told me about a tool called Descript, and actually Hattie here, she says that her short form videos is less than 30. She's one of the people that told me about it. So I was trying to play with that, but not doing very well. But I guess it's tools like, do you know any other tools? That's also putting different captions. You put your captions on, and it comes in different fonts and stuff.
Yeah, there's so many out there now that you can use. They're kind of like, they're everywhere. Everyone's creating them. But for me, I just use my phone to capture the footage, and then I put it into an app called Captions, which is, I think, £50 a year. You can upgrade, so it can do all the cutaways and everything like that, which is something like 30 quid a month or something like that. But to begin with, I don't do that. You know, I don't recommend that. I literally recommend people shoot on their phone, and then just stick it into Captions, put the subtitles over it, and then put it into LinkedIn. Again, you get people, I mentioned this, and people go, yeah, but if you do it in Captions and then put it on LinkedIn know you've done it, so they reduce the amount of impressions that you get. And you hear this all the time. I'm like, okay, cool. So don't do it and get no impressions. Do it and get 10% less than what you should expect. I'll take the 10% less, to be honest, even if that is true, than not doing it. So, you know, don't listen to anything negative. It's all about just making video and put it up there, and stop the excuses. Everyone keeps coming up with excuses, you know. And you know, I need to, ever since VHS was around, oh no, I'll wait to the next phase of evolution of video, you know, with many different excuses. You know, when are we actually going to start making video? You know, let's start now.
Yeah. And do you know what? When you talk about VHS to where we are now, we have all the tools. We have our mobile phones. It's easy, isn't it? I say easy. It's not easy, but we should be able. We've got the technology is there for us to do it, isn't it? And I think it's, for me, it's like, what are you going to say? And being quite natural with it. And actually, short form video makes that easy, because the video I did this morning for this live, I didn't have a script for. I just had it in my head, and it just came. Blah, blah, blah. So I think that's keeping it not overcomplicating it, I guess, as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. The biggest excuse I get all the time is I don't want to look stupid. My God, there's already too many people that look stupid.
Too late for me.
Yeah. The world is full of stupid people on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, don't worry about it.
I love that. I love that. I just got a few comments here. I'm laughing at this as well from Warwick. He's tried short form videos, noticed the engagement was less than with other pet photos, which same as me. But he's got a face for radio. No way.
But but this is podcasts. I know that you spoke to James a bit ago, didn't you?
Yes, yes, I did. Yeah.
But podcast has been filmed. More and more people want podcasts filmed.
Yes,
now
it is. And actually, you can put this as a pod. Man, the LinkedIn Lives can go as a podcast.
Yeah.
But you do have a fan. You do have a fan. Nick enjoys making videos. Under 3 minutes of design, so they're quite long as a short form video, aren't they? They're more.
Yeah. But again, it's about your audience. If you've got lots of people watching your longer videos, don't change them. Don't fall for a trend if your trend is working. Keep going with what you're doing.
Exactly. If it's ain't broke, don't fix it. And Brenda quite rightly says, because that's what I did this morning as well, is that LinkedIn adds the captions for me. So in the end, I was like, oh, just upload it. So
does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also you can edit it.
You can, but the thing is it's also the visualization. Like the LinkedIn captions, though, are good. And apparently if you use them, it gets more optimization than using captions. I don't buy that, to be honest. They're not as creative, and sometimes the captions that you use in a tool like Captions can be a little bit more creative and a little bit more gripping.
Yes, I've seen that. And stuff like that. But I just I need to get a lesson from Hattie here, who says Descript is brilliant for editing. You can simply snip out the words you don't want, and it takes that section. So obviously, Hattie, I need to get a lesson from you. I think this Beth has said a comment here about, can you create content for LinkedIn and TikTok and repurpose between them? I would say absolutely, because a couple of years ago, whenever somebody actually created me a TikTok video, and I've put it more on LinkedIn than I have on TikTok. So I just keep repurposing it.
You can just film on your phone, stick it in Captions, then put it on each.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big believer in not having to create lots of different content for different platforms. So if you've got content that you're creating for Facebook, put it on LinkedIn for sure.
Now, once you start getting loads of views, you can start looking at the analytics and define what each platform wants. But in the meantime, you're not going to get sales on TikTok if you're a B2B person, like in the local area. It's more there to build up a kind of awareness and see what happens with it. So just share what you're putting on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So Caroline's asked a question here. Is there an optimum size for LinkedIn? Portrait, but obviously landscape, because I was told it's portrait for the short form video, so it should be portrait. I don't know if you have an opinion on that.
It should be, yeah. Portrait is the way to go. With video, I say just film it on your mobile phone. There is optimal sizes to use, like in order to get it fully on the screen. Video tends to be a bit bigger. And also when you are scrolling past, it obviously makes it smaller. So make sure that you understand where your face is going to be on that smaller size when it's on people's feed before they press on it to open it up. Otherwise, it could just be a forehead or a chin. So there is some understanding of where you need to be in the camera. Try and get as central as possible. And don't be too close, because LinkedIn kind of do mess around with it slightly in the feed version.
That is a really good point, because I didn't even think about that when I did the video this morning. But also somebody did tell me as well that you should look at the camera. So at the moment I'm looking at you. This is me looking at the camera. And that's what you should do when you're doing a video. You should look at the camera. But it's you kind of look at yourself, don't you?
Yeah, lives. I think lives now, people generally expect us to be looking at the screen now and not there. So there can be that, but with shorts, people are used to us looking at camera. So make sure you're always looking at your camera. Figure it out where it is on your phone.
Yes, there I go. Where is the camera? I'm getting it the right way around.
The thing is, even that's not as important anymore, because captions, things like captions will realign your eyesight. So you put it into Captions and you ask it to do eye correct, and it will take your eyes from here and look up to where the camera is.
Really?
So it will realign your eyes for you in Captions.
So I need to look at Captions. Perhaps we can get a link to that, Chris, that we can put in the their feeds for everybody. And then Descript is another one that I looked at, so I'll put that in there. And maybe 𝐷𝐷𝐷 is a bit of an expert on Descript, could say if you can do the same thing with Descript and captions, that would be fantastic.
Descript is a good one. Descript is good. Yeah, as well.
Fantastic. So, oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to say we're coming up to that 30 minutes. So I was just going to see if anybody's got any more questions for Chris before we head. Oh, Hattie says Descript does the same. Right. So that's the paid version, presumably.
Yeah.
So
one thing I should say about video, and compared to everything else, just really quickly, is video is definitely going to be the safer option for people going forwards as well, because copyright laws are getting quite intense with images. And if you have used stock images, even from stock sites, and not got the licenses, and you need to start looking at that, because copyright companies now are just sending out letters to anyone and saying, can you show me proof of copyright for this image that you've used? You know, video is you talking. Even with Canva, if you just use the photo that you've got from Canva without adapting it to the level that the terms and conditions state, then you can be fined for that through the person who put the photo up. So like, if you want to be safe and secure, not only is video the best option for organic reach, and also you're rewarded for it. As I said, you know, I got rewarded for video, so they give me more impressions on my blog post because they know the people that they were meant to be targeting for it, because it was all around the same topic. It's safer as well. You know, no chance of getting sued. Yeah, from your own face.
So there we have it. We all need to be doing more video of us, with definitely with the captions, sure, under 30 seconds, which then we can use that to drive people to our long form content, whether it's a longer video or a blog.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Short form is that trailer, should we say, to your film.
Yeah. And I love it. Brilliant. I'm persuaded, Chris. I'm going to do more video. There, you see, I've told the whole world, virtually, everybody who's listening, I'm going to do more video. Who's going to be with me? I want to know who's going to come with me and do more video, and we're going to take all these points together. So that was absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much indeed, Chris. I really appreciate. If anybody's got any questions or watched the replay of this, please put your questions in. We will come back to those, and Chris will be able to answer them as well. But thank you very much indeed, Chris. And I shall say bye-bye for now, everybody. And see you next time.